Little story about Randy Staley. A few years back, when he became chair of this committee, I told him, I said, you know, we haven't had a Memorial Day parade in this town in years. And I said, I would like to see you bring that back. And Randy, thank you. There are a few people I want to introduce. First of all, I want to introduce Carl Zucamel from the Miami Valley Communications Council. He is taping this and you'll be able to watch it. Miami Valley Communications Council is just a great organization and they film a lot of things that are going on here in our community. I do want to acknowledge that two of our Miami Township trustees did show up. They had to leave. Andy Papanak and Bob Matthews were here with us earlier. I want to introduce members of Miamisburg City Council that are here. The Vice Mayor, Ryan Colvin. Councilman Charlie Case. Councilwoman Sarah Clark in the back. Who am I missing? Oh, Greg Thompson's over here at the side. And Mike McCabe was here earlier and had to leave also. Dale Schramm. I've known Dale Schramm. What I like about these ceremonies and when they pick their grand marshals, I've known Dale Schramm since I've been a kid in our church. And I did not know some of the things about Dale Schramm, about his part in the service. And that's one of the things the Historical Society is trying to do. They are trying to document all these service members and the role they took. And I have learned so much about so many of our local people that you just didn't know, they didn't talk about it. But we've had a lot of heroes here in this community. I do want to thank the Miamisburg Parks and Recreation Department for setting up the park and then bringing the microphones over here, and they just do a tremendous job on anything we have in the community. Not very often do we have the opportunity to have a state representative attend one of these events. And it's my pleasure now, I'm going to call him up for a few words, our state representative from this district, Niraj Antani.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, when the mayor asked me to speak about 10 minutes ago, I didn't really know what I was going to say, but you know, looking around the room, I actually am sort of glad that we got rained out and put in here. You know, it's easy, I think, to forget what the meaning of Memorial Day is, to think of it as just another federal holiday. But there's a plaque, and I'd like you to look, if you can, up here in the Legion, honoring those who did give the ultimate sacrifice from Miamisburg in each of the wars going back to World War I. And so I think that it's actually quite appropriate that we ended up here because those are the people that we are here to honor, and one of those is actually right around my age, who you know, gave the ultimate sacrifice you know, in the global war on terrorism. And so I think I'm thankful to you, and I'm thankful especially to you for being here today. You could be you probably couldn't be at a cookout right now, but you could be somewhere else, you know, with your family, and, you know, enjoying your day off. But instead, you're making it a day on, and you're here to honor those who gave the ultimate sacrifice. And so I will also ask, can we have anyone who served in our armed services stand and be honored? Anyone who served. This is my fourth Memorial Day ceremony, and as I am I've been this weekend, and I've been reminded that, you know, today is not Veterans Day, but it's Memorial Day. And I, you know, I don't think that, though, we should still pass up an opportunity to recognize our veterans on any day. And so I thank you for your service, and I think we also remember that it's your brothers and sisters in arms that are on that plaque that gave their lives for this country, that allow us to enjoy the freedoms that we do, and each of us to live the lives that we have. So thank you for your service. Thank you for being here today to remember those who sacrificed so that we may have what we have today. Thank you.
And lastly, I want to thank Commander Wayne Kern, all the members of the Legion. I know the VFW has also helped out from West Carrollton and the auxiliary. You do so much for this community and for this region, and you really don't realize the number of funerals that this post and the VFW take care of for the VA Center. So we are blessed to have them, and I appreciate you always being there anytime I ask. So thank you. They each have stories to tell. The crosses at Normandy, the markers at Punchbowl, the tombs at Arlington, the fallen heroes who rest in places unknown. From our founding revolution to today's global war on terrorism, nearly 1 million men and women in the armed forces have sacrificed their lives while defending America in time of war. 70 years ago, Americans were still celebrating their great victory in the European theater, a triumph that came at an enormous price. But that celebration was tempered with the determination and sacrifice that still lay ahead, as Americans and their allies were engaging the Japanese in ferocious fighting in the Pacific island of Okinawa. One such American was Dale M. Hansen, a 19-year-old from Wiesner, Nebraska. At 5'9" and 141 pounds, Private Hansen was far from the biggest Marine in his reserve unit. But he fought like a giant. He landed on Okinawa with his unit on Easter 1945. At a critical stage of action on May the 7th, 1945, Private Hansen crawled to an exposed position where he used a rocket launcher to destroy a strategically located enemy pillbox. After his weapon was destroyed by enemy fire, he seized a rifle and continued a one-man assault and opened fire on 6 Japanese soldiers, killing 4 before his rifle jammed. He fought off the 2 remaining Japanese soldiers with the butt of his rifle, returned for cover, then advanced again with another weapon and some grenades. Private Hansen proceeded to destroy a strong mortar position and annihilate 8 more enemy soldiers. For his actions of May the 7th, his parents would later receive the Medal of Honor. For while Private Hansen survived the heroic actions that earned him the medal and the enduring respect and gratitude of the American people, he was killed by a Japanese sniper just 4 days after his amazing display of combat valor. Private Hansen, like so many other defenders of freedom, is forever young. Brittany Gordon lived a life of service. In the Tampa Bay Times, her mother Brenda recalled a letter that her little girl wrote to the Tooth Fairy. It stated, "Dear Tooth Fairy, will you please leave the tooth under the bed and I will return it the next night. Yes, I want to take it to my school and share it with my friends. That just speaks volumes to who she was, her mother said. As a 24-year-old Army specialist, Brittany was among a group that was delivering furniture to an intelligence office in eastern Afghanistan on October the 13th, 2012. She lost her life when a terrorist detonated a suicide vest. Brittany was a shining light, her cousin remembered. Like Private Hanson, Specialist Gordon is forever young. The numbers of our fallen heroes are not just statistics. They're real people with real families who lived in real communities. We can best honor their sacrifice by remembering their families who have lost so much. Long after the battlefield guns have been silenced and the bombs stop exploding, the children of our fallen warriors will still be missing a parent. Spouses will be without their life partners. Parents will continue to grieve for their heroic sons and daughters that died way too early. We need to be there for them, not just as members of the American Legion and VFW family, but as American citizens. Nobody can replace these fallen heroes, especially in the eyes of their families. But we can offer shoulders to cry on, assistance with educational expenses, and assurance that their loved one's sacrifice will not be forgotten. Americans must remember that freedom isn't free. In fact, it is only possible because our fallen heroes have paid its high price. A price paid which enables us to have ceremonies and observances like this in towns across this great nation. While exceptional valor and sacrifice have occurred in all of America's wars, we did not always honor our fallen with a day dedicated to their honor. In fact, the first Memorial Day was not called Memorial Day. It is believed to have been celebrated with a parade of freed slaves and Union soldiers marching through Charleston, South Carolina in 1865. Waterloo, New York is considered the official birthplace of Memorial Day because after it was observed there on May the 5th, 1866, General John Murray and General John A. Logan called on all communities to honor the war dead every year. Logan had been impressed with how the South had honored the fallen Confederate soldiers for years. In 1868, Logan, the head of the prominent veterans group, the Grand Army of the Republic, issued a proclamation declaring Decoration Day be observed nationwide. The date chosen was May the 30th because it was not on the anniversary of a battle. Still, some communities did not want to honor Decoration Day because of lingering resentments from the Civil War. The alternative name, Memorial Day, wasn't commonly used until World War II. Federal law recognized the holiday as Memorial Day in 1967. As the unofficial beginning of summer, let us never lose focus of what Memorial Day means. It is not about beaches, picnics, or auto races. It is a day to remember. It is a day for us to remember the promise that President Lincoln made to care for him who shall have borne the battle, and for his widow and for his orphan. Remember our fallen once a year is not enough. The widows, widowers, fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, and children, they remember every day. Every day. The empty seat at the dinner table, the smaller gathering on Thanksgiving, and the voice of a loved one heard only as a distant memory in one's mind, are constant reminders that they are gone. The American Legion and the VFW has always shown great pride in our nation's fallen heroes and unwavering support for those that America sends in harm's way. On the back of every American Legion membership card is the preamble to their organization's constitution. It pledges in part to preserve the memories and the incidents of their associations in the great wars. Today is another opportunity for us to give thanks. We owe it to the heroes that died and the loved ones left behind to make sure that their sacrifices are remembered and that their service to this nation always be remembered. Real people, real stories. May God bless them all. May God bless you for being here, and may God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, Mayor Church. We always appreciate your remarks.
May I have a moment of your time, please?
Sure, we have an unexpected visitor, it looks like. Come on forward.